Okay, when you get somebody on the other end of the phone and you're making an expired listing phone call, the call is super simple. Remember, always start with gratitude, even with calling an expired listing. Don't ask them if they're having a good day. They're not. Their listing just came off the market. They're not having a good day, so don't ask them. All right, get to the question as quickly as possible before you get hung up on. So if I were calling Victoria as she answered the phone, it would be simply, hey, good morning, Victoria. John Dietz with Keller Williams Realty. Thank you for taking my call. Are you still interested in selling your home? That's it. Now, you may hear my property is listed on the MLS, right? Or yeah, I'm interested. It's active. It's for sale. It's in the MLS. When you hear that, I want you to respond with, I understand, and actually it's not. It came off the market as of midnight last night. So just out of curiosity, if I had a full price offer on your home today, would you want me to bring you the offer? Now, why would I ask that question versus going back to, are you still interested in selling your home? Whenever I pause, guys, it's an opportunity for you to talk, but I'll go ahead when nobody
Because you know they're
talks.
still motivated to sell.
Yes, 100%, Megan. Yes. And I want yes to the answer. I don't want no to the answer. I have a better chance of getting yes if I ask, if I brought you a full price offer today, would you want me to bring you that offer? If I had a full price offer today, would you want me to bring you that offer? There's a much better chance of getting yes to that, okay? Now, the purpose of the call, if you're taking notes, remember it's been 2 weeks, so I expect some of you have forgotten how this goes. If I say, if you're taking notes, that's code for write this down. All right, so if you're taking notes, the purpose of the call is to get the appointment, nothing else. It's not to qualify them. It's not to see if they're still interested in selling their home. It's not to see what their motivation is. You're going to do all of that, but you're going to do it when you're face to face. I want you to get in the door. Your competition is doing that other stuff. Your competition is pre-qualifying them in order to make sure they're motivated, and they're not going to go on the appointment unless they have a ready, willing, and able seller. Quite honestly, I don't care. I just want to get in the door. So if I had a full price offer on your home, would you want me to bring you the offer today? Well, yeah, I would. Perfect. That's exactly why we should get together. All I need is 10 to 15 minutes to pop by and take a look at your home so I could potentially bring you an offer. Now, the words pop by are important because it's telling them it's going to be a short appointment. You're not moving into their house. The reason you're getting no is because they don't know how long you're going to be there. It's going to be a short appointment, 10, 15 minutes. I'm going to take a look at your home, ask some questions, take some notes so that I can bring you a buyer and help you sell your home. By the way, pay attention to the embedded commands. There's a lot of them. All right. It's years over years over years over years of practicing this, and I don't even know I'm doing it half of the time. Now, if you hear, do you have an offer? Your answer, write this down, is that's a great question, and I won't know until I see your home. That's exactly why we should get together. All I need is 10 or 15 minutes to pop by so I could take a look at your home and potentially bring you an offer. Would today at 4 o'clock work, or would tomorrow at 5 be better for you? All right, if you hear, I'm busy, call me next week. This is so important. Do not call them next week. You're going to get voicemail. You're going to get ghosted. You got them on the phone right now. Schedule an appointment. So Megan, I understand. I'll call you next week. But just out of curiosity, before I go is one of my favorite scripts because it lets the other person know the call's almost over. Yay. So before I go, just out of curiosity, if we were to meet next week, do mornings, afternoons, evenings, or weekends work best for you?
Evenings work better.
Cool. So I'm looking at my calendar and I have Tuesday at 7 Or would Thursday at 6 work better for you?
Then Thursday will definitely work better.
Thursday at 6, we've got the appointment. So simple versus call me next week. Okay, I'll call you next week. Now you call them next week and you get voicemail and then you get ghosted and you're never going to get the appointment. So when you're hearing call me next week, respond with, sure, I understand. And just out of curiosity, if we were to meet next week, do mornings, afternoons, evenings, or weekends work best for you? All right, if you hear that I've decided not to sell my home, and ask them, what's your time frame? Where were you going to go if your home sold? Now, the reason I'm asking these questions is I want to get to motivation. And I would simply ask, if your home would have sold, just out of curiosity, if it did sell, where were you moving? And whatever they say, Tampa, St. Pete, Orlando, Atlanta, whatever they say, the next question is, what's in Tampa? And family. Okay, got it. Are you still interested in moving to Tampa? Yeah, but I'm going to take a break. Oh, I get it. So you're thinking maybe January or February. Yeah, that sounds good to me. I'm going to wait until after the holidays. Got it. Guys, there's so many scripts in this. This is why I'm recording it. Please listen to it over and over again and write all of this down. If you wait until after the holidays, if you're thinking of waiting, is it possible that there's a lot of other people who are thinking of waiting too? The only answer to that question is yes. And if there's a lot of other people who are thinking of waiting, is there going to be more competition in February and March than there is today? In other words, more homes for sale? Or is there going to be less competition? Well, the only answer to that is more. Yes. And is it easier to sell your home when there's less competition like there is today? Or is it easier to sell your home when there's more competition like there will be in February or March? Now, I'm going to ask harm's way questions because remember, people are more motivated by avoiding pain than they are by going towards pleasure. And harm's way questions would include, if you wait until February and there's more competition and you're not able to sell your home and you're still there 6 months later and not in Tampa with your family, how would you feel about that? If I asked your family how they felt about that, what would they say? And if market values go down and you end up selling your home for less in February than you would today, how would you feel about that? What if the values went down so much that you can no longer afford to sell your home? And not only are you not selling in February, you might still be there for another 2, 3, 4 years versus being with your family in Tampa. How would you feel about that? You know, if your next door neighbors sell their home for less money than what you paid for your house, or they sold your home for less money than what you're hoping to get for your home, is the value of your home going down or is it going up? More than likely, it's going down. If someone in your neighborhood sold their property or had a property foreclosed, is that causing the value of your home to go up or down? If interest rates go up, is your home more affordable or less affordable? You know, I understand you're waiting until February or March, and I know your property was on the market for $500,000. Just out of curiosity, if somebody showed up your doorstep with $500,000 cash, closing it in the next 30 days before the end of the year, what would you do? Most people are going to say, sell it. Paying attention? The follow-up to that, remember, we're playing chess. Most questions are asked in order to set up the next question. We're never playing checkers. We're very strategic in how we speak, and we're playing chess. So the questions we ask set up the next question. And the only reason I asked the first question was in order to ask the next question. So when they say, I would sell my home if somebody showed up at my doorstep with $500,000 cash before the end of the year, the next question is, if your home is not on the market, What are the chances that that person is going to show up with $500,000 cash before the end of the year? All right, so if the purpose of the call is to get the appointment, the purpose of the appointment is to create a relationship in order to follow up. Please write that down. It is not to list their house. This is where most real estate agents get this wrong. And a lot of coaching companies get this wrong. Remember, your competition is doing that. And if you want to be successful, just pay attention to what your competition is doing and do the opposite. So the purpose of the appointment is to build a relationship. All right, remember they're asking 3 questions about you. Even though they're not interviewing you, they're still asking these 3 questions. And the 3 questions they're asking are, can I trust you? Do you care about me? Do you know what you're doing? Now, you want to convey that you care about them, they can trust you, and you know what you're doing. And the way you're going to do that, number 1, is confirm the appointment before you go. Hey, Megan, John Dietz, just confirming that we're meeting later today at 5 p.m. Yes, cool, see you at 5 p.m. Arrive early. Now, early doesn't mean 4:45. Early means 2 minutes before 5 o'clock. So you are knocking on the door at 5. 5:05 is not on time. 4:55 is not on time. 5 o'clock is on time. Dress for success. You have your Kodak moment the moment they open that front door. That's your opportunity to make a great first impression. And anybody on the call younger than 40, Kodak is a camera that was sold like 100 years ago. And this is your Kodak moment. So time to make a great first impression. How do you do that? First of all, dress professional. I am not dressed professional right now. I would not show up for a listing appointment the way I am dressed right now. Dress slacks, dress shirt. Ladies, dress professional. I'm not going to tell you what that means because I have no idea. Pay attention to details. If I show up with dress slacks, pressed, clean, dress shirt, tie, sport jacket, and my shoes look like I went for a walk in the mud, all they're going to remember is you're the guy with muddy shoes. So pay attention to details. Knock on the door. Don't ring the doorbell. Take a few steps back so that you're not right in their face when they open the door. How do you like me so far? When they open the door, I'm going to put my glasses on so I can see who's here. Hi, Vito. This is John Dietz. We had an appointment for 5 p.m. and it's 5 p.m. May I come in? You learned that at Bold. It's a great script. Use it. Shake their hand, introduce yourself, smile when you talk. By the way, this is not natural. This takes practice. Most people talk like this. Hey, it's John Dietz. We had an appointment for 5 p.m. It's 5 p.m. and may I come in? How do you like me so far? Not so much. Okay. So Megan, John Dietz, we had an appointment for 5 p.m. and it's 5 p.m. May I come in? Just like that. Now, the moment you walk in the front door, I want you to stop and ask the homeowner, hey, by the way, before I take another step, would you like me to take my shoes off? Be professional. Be different. Now, the next thing you're going to do is you have a notebook in your hand and you have a pen. And I want you to show them notebook and pen. And I want you to ask them, Terry, hey, if it would be okay, Terry, I would love if you could take me on a tour of your home. You want them to go with you. Write that down. Super important. Don't tour the house without them. I know other companies are telling you to do that. It's not my strategy. You're going with me if I show up at your front door. Now, Terry, as we tour your home, I'm going to ask some questions and I'm going to take some notes because this is the information. This is important. Pay attention because this is the information that I'm going to use to help you sell your home. Sell your home. You got it? This is the information that I'm going to use to help you sell your home. Now, as you're touring their home, first note, like their home. I can't tell you how many appointments I've been on, and I've been on thousands, where the seller has said to me, you know, John, so-and-so came to my house and they didn't even like my house. Why would I hire them? True story. Now, my response whenever I heard that was, I have no idea. I love your home. Hire me. All right. Now, like their home. Take notes and ask questions. Take notes out loud. In other words, vaulted ceilings, wood floors, updated, gorgeous kitchen. Wow, I love your kitchen. Granite countertops, stainless steel appliances, travertine floors. You're talking as you're taking notes. They hear you taking notes. Okay, super important. Ask questions. How old is your roof? I see in tax records your home is 30 years old and it looks like you have brand new windows. When did you put in the windows? Ask questions that a buyer is going to ask. How old is the AC unit? If the house is super large and there's multiple AC units, ask them how many do they have? Are they all the same age? Plumbing, electricity, common questions that buyers are going to ask. If they're on the water, for example, and there's boats, right? Do you have direct access to the Atlantic Ocean for all of you in South Florida, or to the Gulf for all of you on the West Coast? Or do you have to go under any fixed bridges? So I'm asking, is there unlimited access or is it limited access? Because that's going to make a big difference in the value of the home. And it's also going to make a big difference in finding the right buyer for that property. All right. Now, do not point out anything wrong with their house. Remember, I said like their home. Now, if you can see there's updates that need to be made, I'm going to teach you how you can get the seller to tell you what those are. Simply, I'm going to say, Megan, as we're touring your home, if you would, please point out everything that you love about your home. And also talk to me about the improvements that you've made to your home in the last 2 to 3 years. And while you're at it, point out any improvements you would make if you were staying in your home for another 2 or 3 years. Now, that gives Megan an opportunity when we walk into one of the bedrooms that has fuzzy wallpaper from the 70s and purple shag carpet and bright pink paint. Gosh. Okay, never mind. Rather than going in there and going, holy cow, what were you thinking? This is awful. We got to change this. It ain't going to work. Rather than doing that, now Megan is saying, well, if I were keeping the house, I would get rid of this wallpaper. I would repaint the bedroom a really nice color, and I'd probably pull out this shag carpet and put in wood floors. Wow, that sounds awesome. I think that's a great idea. If they ask you, John, I was thinking of painting this room, and you know it's a good idea, here's your response. And they ask you, John, I was thinking of painting this room. What do you think? The response is, I would. It's the shortest script I'm ever going to teach you. I would. Now, if they go into the kitchen and they say, I was thinking of gutting the kitchen and putting in all new cabinets, new countertops, new appliances, new flooring, and they ask you, what do you think? The answer is not, I would. The answer is, let's wait until we're sitting at the table. Now I'm on a listing appointment and discussing the right strategy in order to get your home sold, because it might be the right thing to do and it might not be the right thing to do. If you're on a tour of a home that's just an expired listing or for sale by owner, the answer to, I was thinking of gutting the kitchen, what do you think, would be, well, it depends. It depends on, are you better off spending the money that it's going to cost to do that because you're going to get back more than that in the sale of your home? Or would you be better off marketing the property based on current market value, understanding that the kitchen needs to be updated. It really depends on the market on what the answer to that question is. All right, before you leave, you're going to have an exit conversation. Exit conversation is just meant to set up the next conversation. It's also meant to look for motivation. Motivation usually shows up as frustration. Please write that down. When the seller's frustrated, they're motivated. Even if they're frustrated with you, they're motivated. So exit conversation is, hey, Terry, first of all, thank you for taking time out of your day to show me your home. You have an absolutely beautiful home. Now, remember, this is an expired listing. Okay, continuing the conversation with Terry. You know, Terry, in my experience, when a home doesn't sell that should have, like yours, when a home doesn't sell that should have, like yours, it's usually because of one of three reasons: either price, presentation, or marketing. And just out of curiosity, which of those three do you believe is the reason your home didn't sell? So a really important question, because it's going to create opportunity for you. Now, if Terry says, quite honestly, I don't know, my follow-up to that is, well, one of the ways we can find out is if I do a comparative market analysis on your home. We also do a supply and demand analysis, and we sit down and we look at that and we look at the market. It'll only take about 30 minutes. Then we're going to know if price is the reason your home didn't sell. Okay. If they say marketing, by the way, what did I do? I just scheduled another appointment. Look at this like a game. The more times you can get in front of them, the better the chances are they're going to hire you. Write that down. The more times you can get in front of them, the better the chances are they're going to hire you. So I'm back in front of them. Good for me. Now, if they say marketing, respond with, that might be true. Never respond with anything negative about their previous agent. They say marketing, Terry, and I respond with, oh yeah, you know, that Vito had that listing. That guy has absolutely no idea what he's doing. Of course it's marketing. Terrible. Yeah, I just lost. Okay, what if Vito is a friend? How do you like me so far? Besides, it makes you sound really, really bad. Don't ever talk bad about the competition. So marketing, yeah, that may be true. And in order for us to know if it was marketing or not, what I would love to do is sit down with you and go through a marketing plan that I use in order to sell 10 homes a month, in order to sell 5 homes a month. Now, if you're newer to the business and those aren't your numbers, then we use your office numbers. I'd love to show you a marketing plan that we use to sell 30, 40, 50 listings a month, whatever the number is in your office, okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to compare that marketing plan with what the previous realtor did in order to sell their home. Remember, it's not talking negative about the competition. It's simply a side-by-side comparison. For example, one of the things that I would say is in a side-by-side comparison, one of the things that I do that's different is I make anywhere from 80 to 100 calls every day looking for a buyer for all of the properties that I'm selling. And just curious, do you know how many calls your previous agent made looking for a buyer for your property? Okay, it's close, but I'm still not talking negatively. I'm just doing a side-by-side comparison. All right, I make anywhere from 80 to 100 calls every day looking for a buyer for your property. All right, it's just an example. So you're doing a side-by-side example. All right, now let's say that I don't schedule another appointment. It's just simply an exit conversation. Thank you for the opportunity to meet with you today. You have an absolutely beautiful home. In my experience, when a home doesn't sell that should have, like yours, it usually comes down to one of three reasons: price, presentation, or marketing. Which of those three do you believe is the reason your home didn't sell? Okay, now let's pick it up from there as if we didn't get a follow-up appointment. Now, before I leave, Angel, I'd love to share with you that I'm really good at follow-up. And that simply means that I will check in with you periodically. I'm super persistent. I'm not pushy. And whenever you're ready to put your home back on the market, I would love the opportunity to interview to be your realtor. Super important. All right. Now, I've drawn this out for you before, and I can't do it right now, but the follow-up plan is from left to right, and follow-up call, follow-up call, follow-up call, follow-up call once a week for 4 weeks. And then once every other week for the next 2 months. And then once a month until their property sells or they list it. That's it. And we follow up forever. We reject rejection. No is not a word that lives in our vocabulary. No simply means not yet. Remember that people will never change their mind, but they will make a new decision based on new information. So if Vito says, John, we're not listing the home, you don't need to call me anymore. Awesome. Talk to you in about a month. If I ever do list my home, I'm hiring Megan. Awesome. Megan's awesome. And talk to you in a month. I listed an average of 10 to 15 homes every month for 13 years. And I wish I would have kept track of how many of those came from people who said they were never going to hire me. I simply listed with them because I followed up forever. We follow up forever in order to get to a point where the seller gets serious about selling their home. It's called emotional proximity. And your goal is to be the only person still hanging in there when that happens, because most real estate agents will give up after 4 calls. 4 is max. You're never going to stop. Advantage you. And my record is 3 years and 89 calls before somebody hired me. And by the way, that person told me they were never going to hire me. And they did. Okay. All right. Let me check time. I've got 9:10. That was 40 minutes nonstop. Holy cow. Congratulations on hanging in there. Put your hand in the air. Give me comments and feedback. We're going to pick up on this conversation on Monday, by the way, because there's so much more to talk about. We're going to dive deep and laser focus on getting more listings. Your future as a real estate agent depends on it. And we're starting with expired listings because if I were you, I would start every day with expired listings, especially right now. Check your MLS. I bet without checking that 1 out of every 4 properties that's going on the MLS is not selling. 1 out of 4 properties that's going in the MLS is coming off the market as either an expired listing or a canceled listing, which means every month there are hundreds of expired and canceled listings in your market. All right, raise your digital hand. Let me hit the stop button on record first.